Good afternoon, Pilgrim. In spite of my voice, I'm going to give this a shot. Lectures on Theology by John Dick, published in 1850. There's just three short paragraphs here. Short paragraphs in 1850. Well, they're longer than paragraphs today, but shorter than paragraphs in 1600. But here they are. This is from a theology book published in 1850 entitled Lectures on Theology. And this particular snippet from it here is speaking on the immensity of God. If we turn our attention to the providential character of the universe, we shall be led to the same conclusion respecting the omnipresence of God. Reason and revelation concur in bearing testimony to this, that the system of nature is sustained by the same power which raised it from nothing. To imagine that after it was arranged and subjected to certain laws it was left to itself, and that it moves like a well-constructed machine without requiring the interference of the artist is an opinion which no man would adopt, after due reflection anyway, and which in reality renders the universe independent of its maker. The laws of nature to which its order and preservation are ascribed are nothing but the established and uniform methods according to which his power is exerted. But where the effect is, there also must be the cause. Where we see displays of power, there we should seek for him to whom the power belongs. We observe a variety of changes taking place, and we can often discover the immediate causes or antecedents, but we don't perceive the link which connects them. We know that power is exerted, but the more we reflect, the more we are convinced that the conclusion of sound philosophy is just that it is not the power of creatures, but of the Creator. All the movements which we observe in the universe are so many proofs of a present deity. Although he is not visible to the mortal eyes, yet all nature proclaims him to be near. Where, I ask, is the region in which God may not be found? Go to the most dismal spot upon the globe, to a spot, if such exists, where no plant vegetates and no animal breathes. In this dreary solitude you shall trace him in the eternal snow which covers it, in the rocks which rear their dark pinnacles to the sky, and in the waves which beat upon its melancholy shores. Yes, retire to a wilderness impressed with no mark of human footsteps, and you shall perceive in everything which lives, in the waving grass, and the flowers which waste their sweetness in the desert air. For all live and move and have their being in him. Lift your eyes to the heavens and contemplate the splendid bodies which are scattered there in such magnificent profusion. Remark their number, their magnitude, their revolutions, and their order, and then tell me what could sustain them, what could guide them in their course, what could prevent them from running to confusion, but the arm of omnipotence which holds them in its grasp. Look into the abysses of space at a distance from us which overpower the imagination. Who kindled the living fires with which they glow? Who nourishes the flame which has burned with undiminished brightness for thousands of years? Is it not the same being who breathed into our nostrils the breath of life? Everything which you see is God, said an ancient poet. Well, we may object to his language as confounding the worker with his works, but with a slight alteration we may say that every object which meets our eyes on the surface of the earth and in the expanse above us announces the presence of God. By him the sun shines, the wind blows, the earth is clothed with vegetation, and the tides of the ocean rise and fall. Everywhere Everywhere he exists in the fullness of perfection. The universe is a magnificent temple, erected by his own hands, in which he whom the heavens of heavens cannot contain manifests himself to his intelligent creatures. The divine inhabitant fills it, and every part shines with his glory. It may occur to you that these arguments prove only the omnipresence of God, or his presence throughout the whole creation, to know, to uphold, and to govern it. It is acknowledged that this is the amount of the evidence, but no person, I presume, who has gone so far will choose to stop and say, this is the limit of creation, and the limit also of the divine essence. No reason could be assigned for circumscribing it, but as we have found it in every step of our progress through the universe, we naturally conclude that we could pursue the search. If we could pursue the search, we should find it where it exists alone. He who believes that the power of God is almighty will not doubt that he could create new worlds, and therefore must admit that as he could not act where he is not, he is present where no sun shines and no planet rolls. For all practical purposes, it is enough to know that he fills heaven and earth, but truth requires us to acknowledge the absolute immensity of his nature, because if he were bounded by creation, we could conceive a being still greater, and that being would be God. Some thoughts to think about, some things to complicate your thinking, and some things to meditate upon, and read your Bible. Have a great day. God bless, Pilgrim.